Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. This is episode number 405 of the Immigration Answer Show. We are really glad you're here today. I will be here most of our August, and I'll be here, I think, every day this week. I'm going to do a show, maybe not Wednesday, but going to get back into our regular schedule, usually at 4 o'clock. So hopefully that will work with your schedule. We lost electricity over the weekend, so the computer was down. So I had to use my old computer. So here I am. Hopefully you can hear me and see me, and we can have a good conversation. If you haven't already, let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear what's going on with you and what's going on in your neck of the woods. I'm here in St. Louis, and I'll be here, like I said, most of August, except when I have to take some kids to college. So that'll be exciting. I spent the last few days up in Minnesota riding jet skis and playing on boats and jumping in Lake Minnetonka. It was much, much fun. It was good to get a break. But now I'm back, and I got home from the airport pretty late last night, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm going to be here for the full hour. I will try my best to answer all of your questions, but if you ask me something that's too complicated or makes my head hurt, I'll probably have to wait until tomorrow to answer it because I am operating on about 4 hours of sleep. So I might take a pass on questions if they're just too darn hard. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Anastasia is here. Hello, Anastasia. You're on mute.
Yeah, I see. I'm sorry. Hello, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I have a really complicated situation. I'm originally from Ukraine, and I came to US with visitor visa B2, and I overstayed my time, which was permitted. And I'm married to green card holder, and we applied different kind of petition. It's approved. I also applied for extend my non-immigrant visa. It's approved, and I was applying for a green card, and it was denied. And in explanation later, they said because you were out of status when you were applying. So my question, now I have a temporary protected status. Can I apply again? Like, can this overstay time, can it be forgiven me, or should I leave United States and came back again?
How did your spouse get their green card?
They were like asylum. Like, he lives here over 30 years.
How long ago did he get his green card?
To his?
Yeah, when did his green card start?
I don't know. Like, he's 46 now, and he received his green card when he was 16, probably.
Why hasn't he applied for citizenship?
Because he's scary. He had some bad situation 20 years ago. He was young, and it was something with drugs. So he's scary to apply now, and he just every 10 years he applied for a new green card.
Has he left the United States?
No.
Has he had an immigration attorney sit down and figure out whether the drug crimes would make him deportable?
No. He said he was asking different type of attorney, and they said like, just don't try it's easy way, just apply every 10 years, like, for sure.
Yeah, but that's the easy thing. But if you get your citizenship, that really helps. If he gets the citizenship, that really helps you.
I know.
So how long has it been? I mean, I think it's definitely worth looking into whether he can get his citizenship, because if he gets his citizenship, that helps him and it helps you a lot. As far as leaving the United States,
he's not going to, at least now. I was talking with him last year, and he's not going to. He's very scared because he has like business or kids here, and he's very scared.
Yeah, but might be living in fear for no reason. I mean, there's a difference between applying for citizenship and hiring an immigration attorney who knows what they're doing to figure out if it's safe for him to apply for citizenship. He can talk to the attorney and have them track down the criminal records and figure out if he's deportable or not. And he would still maintain control over whether or not he actually applies for citizenship. So what I'm saying is he might be scared for no reason.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Because when did you enter the United States?
In August 25th, 2020.
And when did you apply for your extension?
In January
of 21.
Yes.
And did that get approved?
Till August 25th, 2021.
And then when did you apply for your green card?
Last year in July 19.
So USCIS is correct when they said your status had already expired. Right. So that means if you leave the United States, according to your plan, you're going to have a 10-year bar on coming back because you've been out of status for more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't really work.
But was I here legal or illegal? Because I had like pending cases, and we had pending I-130 petition. They answered like after 1 year.
You said you filed the I-130 long after your extension.
No, I was. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, it was in 2022.
So you weren't in status at the time you applied for your I-130.
Yeah.
So to me, the only thing that's going to save you is to.
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't. Yeah. So my B2 was valid till August 24, 2021, and I applied. We applied 1,030 in May. In May 30th, 2021.
And what about the 45?
It was, July last year.
Yeah, so you're out of status.
Yeah.
So I think, sadly, the only thing that's going to help you is if your husband gets his citizenship.
Mm-hmm. And my temporary protected status, nothing can do with it, right?
It keeps you from being deported, but it doesn't give you status to adjust through him.
Because okay.
That's just them being nice and not deporting you. That's all that is, and giving you the ability to get a work card. All right, thanks, Anastasia.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Mosin's here. Hello, Mosin. You're on mute. It's those headsets. I can't hear you on those headsets. We will come back to Mosin. Let's go ahead to Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. You hearing me well?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So that's my citizenship case. I called you a couple times about it. So I was thinking to do the lawsuit. I'm stuck now in my online status. Say it's scheduled for an oath ceremony. Like put you online to schedule for an oath ceremony. I've been in this status.
Mohammed, you emailed me yesterday. I emailed you back, right?
No, you didn't. Somebody called me. Paul called me.
Yeah. Well, Paul's an attorney. I don't want to talk about. If you've contacted my office, I can't talk about our conversations on camera. I'm sorry.
I just have a question about it. I'm not sure if this lawsuit is gonna work or not. That's all.
You've had 120 days since your citizenship interview. They're not going to fight us on that. They will give you a decision. Whether they approve it or not, I don't know. But the lawsuit will work and get you a decision.
Will get me like oath ceremony, like they will schedule me because I have an name change.
It'll get you a decision. I don't know. I mean, you said that they recommended it for approval, but until you have your citizenship, nothing. It doesn't mean anything. If I sue them, you'll get a final decision within 90 days. You've already had 120 days wait. That's all I can say.
Okay, but do you want to say because you have an image change, we're waiting for the judge? You're not gonna do this?
They're not gonna do that. No.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure the lawsuit is gonna get me a decision. That's all.
Yep.
All right.
On this,
Thank you, Jim.
on this one, I can say yes because the law says they only have 120 days after your interview.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to know. That just they will get me a decision. They're not gonna say just wait because we
No.
approved the case and then the judge waiting for it to gather in more people. That's all.
They won't do that.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know, Jim. So I'll
All right,
contact
Mohammed.
Paul. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you.
Yep, see you, buddy. All right, let's go to Shrey. Hello, Shrey.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. So my husband and I both applied for our green cards together in September 2021. It was employment based, so he was the primary and I'm the derivative. And he received his green card in April 2022, so it's been over a year now. And I recently got scheduled for an interview that's happening in August. And I'm just wondering a couple of things. One is, why do you think they might have scheduled me for an interview? Because I've heard that it's kind of unusual for a derivative applicant in an employment-based case. And then secondly, what should I be prepared for? Is this considered a marriage-based interview or something else? And what advice can you give me?
Would you mind walking me through your immigration history inside the United States?
Sure. I first came to the US in 2012 as a F1 student. I did my undergraduate for 4 years. And then starting in 2016, I was employed on an H-1B visa, which I held for 5 years until October 2021. So I got married in August 2021. We both filed for our green cards together in September. And then I wrapped up my employment in October so that I could move and start my life with my husband.
So as we sit here right now, the only thing keeping you here is your pending green card and EAD. Did you get an EAD?
I got the EAD and advance parole, yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of any problems that your H-1B employer had with USCIS as far as H-1B abuse kind of a stuff?
No, they're a very large and reputed employer. They
Okay.
didn't have any of that.
Hmm. So in your mind, no gap between your CVIS record on the I-20, OPT, H-1B, you're good all the way through?
As far as I know, there's never been any issue and everything has been smooth.
When was the last time you were home?
I was home last year, so I went in at the end of November is when I left the country, and then I came back in February. So I was home for about close to 3 months.
So on advance parole?
Yeah, I came back on advance parole. Yeah.
Oh man, I would have asked you not to go, but I'm glad you made it back. Okay. I mean, I guess you didn't have to get a stamp because you had advance parole. Did they give you any trouble?
So when I was entering, they did ask me to step into this room for a bit where they were questioning people, but I just sat there and they didn't actually ask me any questions. They just looked at my documents and told me I was fine. I didn't get questioned at all.
Did you travel without your spouse?
Yeah, I was traveling on my own.
What country are you from? Where did you go?
India.
I suspect that somebody somewhere clicked a box that puts you off into this one little thing. I think you're fine. I don't think you need to worry about it. I do think you should be ready to prove a light marriage. In other words, sort of a high level, like you're not getting married based on, you're not getting your green card based on marriage, but you are getting your green card based on marriage, if that makes sense. So I would say be prepared to prove up the length of the relationship, the legality of the relationship, that you're both free to marry, that you got married on, you get your marriage license, if you have any kids or anything, just like big picture stuff. You don't have to go into as much detail as we would on a straight marriage I-130.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of extensive evidence, but I'll tell you what we do have. We filed our taxes together the past 2 years. We have health and auto insurance together. We do have a bank statement, but it's limited. Like we just put a small amount of money in there, and I know we didn't use it very extensively. Like we've somewhat kept our finances separate, so I'm hoping that's not an issue. But we do have a lot of photos, our taxes, and health and auto insurance, and we can answer any questions probably very well.
He's coming.
Yeah, he's coming, but we're not clear if he needs to be there. But he's going to come and be outside. So if we need to call him in, and we'll have all of his documents as well.
I have him come all the way into the waiting room. So I would just say, we're here for a green card. This is my husband. I'm the applicant. They'll just think it's an I-130 and let him in, and then just have him sit there in case anything comes up.
Okay. Do you think the interview will be treated as a marriage-based interview, or are they more
certainly
concerned about the
I certainly
travel?
don't think there'll be a Stokes interview. I just think it'll be, yeah, I think it's all related to your H-1B. I don't think it has anything to do with the marriage.
Okay. Is there any specific thing I should be prepared for, about, like questions about my H-1B or travel or anything?
Yeah, just I would make sure to read over. Do you have a copy of the LCA and everything that was filed with the Department of Labor and USCIS?
I have to see. I don't work there anymore. It might have all been in my work email. Would it be an issue if I didn't have it?
Was there any kind of issues with remote work, or like how did they handle things during COVID? Like the one thing they could try to, and I would spend some time Googling the name of your employer and H-1B fraud or visa fraud, and just see if they've ever been investigated.
I'm pretty sure that's not. I mean, they're a large financial institution. Like
it'd be one that people watching would have heard of.
yes,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're fine. And you were working directly for them, not for some like third party.
Directly for them. So should I be taking my pay stubs and everything from when I was working?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, lightly. I don't think it's going to be a big thing, but I would say lightly.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shrey. Good luck. What field office is it?
Nashville.
Let us know how it goes, okay? Good
I
luck.
heard they're nice. So-
Yeah, I think it'll be nice. I think you'll be all right.
Okay.
See ya. All right, great. Sure thing. No complaining in the comments. No bitching in the comments. When we answer questions when we can. We don't answer questions out of the comments unless we don't have people in the waiting room. And I hate to tell you, the waiting room is full. Speaking of a full waiting room, Mohsen has been waving like a fiend since we couldn't get his microphone to work. Let's see what Mohsen has to say.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me now?
I told you it was those donkey headsets. I can hear
Oh,
you.
alhamdulillah. You can hear me now. Thank God. Okay, so I'm doing very well. How are you, sir? Good. Excellent. So basically what it is that I'm hoping to get married to a US citizen. Sorry, I'm not good at doing these kind of things. Basically what it is that she was previously married to a foreign national from Pakistan, and she.
So you're the sequel. You're the sequel.
I'm the sequel. Yes.
So she's indeed a U.S. citizen. Did she apply for a benefit for that person?
She did. She did do indeed. Yes.
And did that person get a green card?
No, he got denied. His denial was based on that. I'll just read it out to you. It was based on. It was a response to the I-130 that decision that got sent back to her back in April 2016 was that there was a response to an intent to revoke. It was saying that the beneficiary is not eligible for an immigrant visa because there is no petitionable relationship. Okay, she got married to him in 2014, or from what I can understand from this decision letter. However, they then USCIS decided to contact the marriage registrar in Karachi to basically try and back this up. There was no record, and apparently he also said at the time that he had paid her money as well. Now she didn't continue any relationship with him further on because, number one, there wasn't any marriage. She found out from this decision letter back in 2016 that there was no marriage record, and she's denying the fact that he paid her anything, at all, or she was receiving any kind of payment. Now, I did speak to an attorney. He did say something to the effect that she would be seen. USCIS would see it as that she was somehow part of this fraud as well of trying to get him over, and she wouldn't able to actually sponsor anyone else in the near future. Is that correct? Do you think?
That sounds good to me. That sounds like a reasonable assumption. Yeah. I mean, so what's your understanding of the marriage act itself? Did she think she was present when they got married and it was never recorded, or what's her story about the marriage to person number one?
So she's saying that they had a party, a walima, and what happened was there was an imam there. However, that was it. There was just a party, and there was no signature done or anything like that. She didn't understand what was going on. He told her that the marriage had been registered or everything had been, taken care of because she was from the US. She's
Is she like a white lady, or is she from Pakistan?
She's a white lady. No, she's a white lady. She didn't understand what was going on, so she went to see this person, and I don't know, who would you call them, pre-sequel? Okay, she went to see this person, and
the prequel. Actually, we'll call him the OG. He's the OG. You're the sequel.
He's the OG. So she went to see the OG, and apparently there was no registration of the marriage done anywhere. There was no signature or anything because she apparently, I think from what I understand, he told her that this is how things are done here. And that was from what I can understand. But when I looked also at his documents for the registration, it looks like something. I don't know. It's just there is showing something there that there is a marriage certificate, but again, USCIS said there's no marriage record.
Did she and the OG respond to the notice of intent to revoke? So basically, she goes over to Pakistan. She gets into what she thinks is a real marriage. She thinks it's a marriage ceremony. The imam's there. She thinks OG records it. USCIS approves the I-130, sends it over to the embassy. The embassy says, I'm not sure if this marriage is legit. They send out a runner to the marriage license office. They say, yeah, we got no record of this thing. And then they say, so then the embassy sends it back to USCIS and says, hey, OG and Mrs. OG, we're thinking about revoking the I-130 that we previously approved. And then she's given the chance to respond. What did she file in response?
Nothing, because she thought there was something a bit dodgy about it. She just told him.
Then she herself is worried that she's been the victim of an OG scamming her like that. And then she shuts it down.
She said, I don't want to know you. So she's basically told him to foxtrot Oscar and being polite.
Here's a big question.
Yes.
Did she notify USCIS that she wanted to withdraw the I-130, or did she just leave it out there on the vine for them to do whatever they wanted with it?
On the vine.
So did she actually then receive a notice of revocation from them after that?
I don't know. She didn't receive anything because she.
So basically, the last thing that USCIS has ever heard from this woman who you already married to, or you might marry, or what?
No, I'm not married to her yet. No.
But if she were to file for you, if she were to file for you, and if they never actually revoked the I-130, in theory, she could be filing a second case for the sequel while the OG case is still on the books, or was denied after them finding some kind of fraud by her and him.
Yeah. So could that cause an issue?
Here's the question that I think you want to ask me, Jim. Do you think this person would ever be believed by USCIS so that they would want to approve an I-130 on a subsequent marriage? I think that's the question you want to ask me.
That's right. Yeah.
I think the chances of that are about 5%. I'll tell you one other thing.
Yes, sir.
And I think this might explain why they sent a runner to the embassy or to the marriage license office to see. So 24, I don't know, Muslim, if you know, I became Muslim 25 years ago. So most of my clients are from predominantly Muslim countries. And so back in 2014 and 2015, the FBI used to come visit my Muslim clients from time to time. Sometimes I'd meet with them. Sometimes I'd tell them to go pound sand. But I remember 2013, 2014, the number one thing on their radar, the number one thing was white American ladies going over to Pakistan. Like the number one thing. Like you pick the race, yeah, it's white ladies. You pick the country, yeah, it's Pakistan. So I think that they have a facially valid reason to keep her from being able to ever sponsor someone. Yeah. But I also think there's probably secret stuff that I would never be able to find out about. But I think that if you were to ever marry her and apply, then you would be tainted with the problems from last time.
Oh wow. Okay, because I mean, she's quite adamant. I mean, from what I understand from her case, is that she's quite adamant that she didn't know anything about it.
Let's take her at face value. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't
right,
matter.
I see. Mm-hmm.
We don't have to have that conversation as to whether she was part of it. Sounds like she was the dupe. Now that's also part of what the FBI was after those days wondering about back in 2013-14 was whether white ladies in America were getting duped by Muslim men in Pakistan who wanted to come to the United States and do bad shit. And so that actually feeds right into their narrative.
Right. No, I totally get it. So, what would your expertise be in guiding us through this, if any?
Well, here's what I would say about that. First of all, if I took this case, everyone in my office would yell at me, Jim, why'd you sign up this case? But here's what I'll say, and this is what I often say. I think I even have a video on it, and that is, in these cases, it all depends on the U.S. citizen. It all depends on the U.S. citizen. If she's tough, and I think could like stand up to sort of withering cross-examination or a pretty hard push, the problem is that's never going to happen at the embassy. Like the embassy, they're sort of above the law, Islamabad especially. So like I literally think that if you guys got married, and I have another video which is like second marriage completely legit, questions about the first marriage. I think even if I did everything humanly possible to make this the strongest case possible, if I had her take a lie detector test, which we could actually do, that wouldn't be bad. But even if I did all that, the best chance you would have of coming would be 5 or 10%.
Okay, but by the way, I'm a British national. I'm not a Pakistani national.
Okay.
Yeah. So I take it would be no matter which embassy it would be, it would sort of like be the same case.
No, I think London would be better, but then London would get the records from Islamabad, and I mean, to me, it's whether or not. To me, it's whether or not I believe her, and I can get USCIS to believe her that she wasn't part of it and that she was a victim.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm thinking about right now is what kind of proof she could use to sort of
it'd be all based on her testimony.
Just a testimony.
That's all you got. Yeah. What else are you gonna get?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, good God.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things almost where you're trying to prove a negative. You're trying to prove something that there's not really proof of.
Because I did speak to Ryan about it, and he gave me the same conclusion that she would be accused. I mean, basically, they were accusing her of fraud, and she wasn't able to sponsor anyone else. She would have to show.
I haven't had that happen much. But when I called you the sequel right out of the box, that was because that's something I'm always worried about. But here we have the sequel plus misrepresentations or funny business with the first one.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying. Okay. So what you're saying is basically it's up to me if I want to take a chance with it, or if we take a chance with it and see what the London UK embassy.
If you wanted us to handle it, I'd want to cross-examine her. Like I'd want to go after her and see how she handles it.
Would that be okay? How can we arrange that if possible?
It would have to be next week. You could email Ryan back and tell him that you came on the show and that I want to talk to your wife.
Okay. Yeah, sure. No worries. So I will get on to that. No, that's no problem.
Okay. Thanks, Mohsen.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Very
much.
Later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Yep. Nolan is here. Hello, Nolan.
Hi, Jim. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Not too bad. You came highly recommended by Mr. Brian Kamerer. So here I am today to find out some information. I'll give you the quick story. I met a young lady who was here on a student work visa last year. Fell in love, all that good stuff. I went out to go see her in December and then subsequently again in April. And then we got engaged. She had actually filed in the beginning of the year for another student work visa, and it was approved. She finished up school.
For OPT SEM extension?
I'm not sure exactly what it was called. I'm looking at the DACA Student and Exchange Visitor Program.
When did she graduate? Oh, she's on a J1.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she graduated actually in the spring this year. So it was kind of a miracle. It was kind of miraculous that she was approved to come here this year. And so she's here right now, and we had intended on filing a K1 visa. We were expecting for us to enjoy our time together while she was here, and then she'd go back. We'd file for a K1, and then go through that process. But I understand there's a different way to go about that. I actually found that out through a Nigerian Uber driver. So we could file an I-130. So then I spoke with somebody who was a family friend who used to practice immigration law, and she explained that there's different types of J1 visas that you can parlay an I-130 or you can't, depending on the type of visa. But she hasn't practiced law in quite some time. So a couple of questions. One, on her current visa type, if we were to get married while she's here, even though it's been, I guess, a little over 60 days now. And we had always intended on filing a K1. Would there be any issue with it looking like visa fraud if we go ahead and get married and then file for the I-130 and then the other form, which I believe is called
45.
the other one, the I-845 or 485. So
When did she? Hold on. Let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
So first of all, you're a U.S. citizen,
yes,
and what country is she from?
Thailand.
And she had a J1 visa. Was it work and study, or was it for scholarly work?
Work and study.
So what did she do? How long was her visa for?
The previous one where I met her,
Well, how many times has she been to the United States?
she came once in high school. She came once last year, and then she's here now. So this is
And
her third time.
all three times were on J1s?
I'm not sure what her first one was, but I'm pretty sure that this one and the last one are the same.
And do you have her visa in front of you, or her DS 2019?
I do not. I did take a few screenshots of some things.
The big question, Nolan, is whether the bearer is subject to Rule 212E or not. That's the big question.
Oh, no, she's not.
You sure?
Yeah, I remember that from her visa. It's just not subject to the number you just said.
Perfect. So then the question is, when did she enter the United States last?
The time she's here now
when is her most recent entry into the United States?
It's been 2 months.
2 months. And how long does she have to stay?
So her visa runs out at the end of August. No, I'm sorry, at the end of August, and then from what she understands, she can be here for 1 more month after that, and then she plans on going back. She's got a return ticket in October, early in October.
What is she doing with her time on her J1?
She's actually working at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
A little underemployed for having a degree, but she's here for me.
Yeah.
So.
That's okay. Well, no, that's not true. She came here to fulfill the obligations of her J1, and she happened to see her friend Nolan while she's here.
There we go.
Thank you. So if she gets married after 60 days to a U.S. citizen and she's not subject to Rule 212E, then you and she could file a set of paperwork and documents to allow her to stay in the United States and get a green card, and she could stay here the whole time. Our office is very, very down on fiance cases right now because they're taking a year and a half or 2 years. She won't get another J1 to come once you apply for her, most likely as a fiance. Plus, she's come too many times, so she's probably not going to get any more visas. So, if I were you, if I were in your shoes, I would, as long as the marriage is for purposes of love and being together and not for immigration, then I would get married. And I would apply for a green card for her, a temporary work card, a travel document, and then I would keep her here until she gets her green card.
Okay. So that's the I-130 and the other 845 document.
So it's the I-130,
okay,
the I-130A, the 765, the 131, which is the travel document, the I-864, which is the affidavit of support.
I-164, you said?
I-864.
Okay. So
you have to promise to sponsor her and pay any of her bills. you have to file. She has to get a medical exam, which is the I-693 with a USCI civil surgeon. And if you're here in St. Louis and Brian recommended you, I would say hire us to do it, but that's up to you. I think I said 45, didn't I, for the green card itself?
I got I-30, I-30A, 765, 131.
Yeah, I didn't say. So I-45, you need that. That's for the green card. And then the medical exams is 693.
Okay.
So on the affidavit of support, you have to demonstrate that you've made enough, over 125% of the poverty guidelines for the last 3 years on your tax returns.
Now, yeah, that should be fine. I just actually started making good money, so I'm a six-figure earner over the last 2 years. Not so much the third year back there, but okay. And now a couple of questions here. So she with that, I've been told to recommend that while it's processing, that she stay here. You also recommend that, even if there is a parole, advanced parole?
My general rule is if the people can stay till they get their green card, I'd ask them to stay until they can get their green card. If they need to go back, my next question is, were they in status at the time that they applied? She is. So that's helpful. But Thailand's always something, young women from Thailand getting married to something that they're always high on their radar for fraud and stuff. So yeah, if we can avoid it, I would say avoid it.
Okay. Well, I will. What's the best way to get a hold of your? Same thing I did. Just call and.
Yeah. Did you talk to somebody? Did you talk to somebody today?
Today and then last week. Today, just to make sure I can get let into the Facebook group. But they sent me a link.
Who did you talk to?
The name I don't think I recall.
Was it a lawyer or an intake specialist?
I think an intake specialist.
Okay. Just tell me the first initial of your last name, and then I can send you an email.
Sure. E.
All right, cool. When we're done, I'll send you an email.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Nolan. See you, buddy.
Thanks.
Later. All right. We are at the 37-minute mark. You're listening and watching the Immigration Answers Show. I am on solo duty today, and we have 266 friends watching us, which is exciting. We'll also have a couple thousand watching on the comments. So for those of you who don't know, or this is your first time, I am an immigration lawyer. We have offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. We have a lot of free resources that we love for people to take advantage of, including the YouTube channel, which has literally thousands of immigration-related videos, and all of our 404 prior episodes of the Immigration Answer Show. If you're thinking about immigration, there's enough free content out there for you guys to drive yourself silly listening to me talk and yammer about immigration. We also have that Facebook group that Nolan just mentioned, which is called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. If you want to be able to get in the waiting room for tomorrow's show, which will also be at 4 o'clock, you can text the word show, SHOW, to 314-470-3300. And then if you want to hire us or want to talk about taking us on as your lawyer, give us a call, 314-961-8200. Fast Track's complaining today's a slow day. Fast Track, that's because I had 4 hours of sleep. I'm not feeling a lot of energy. I'm not very energetic. Hopefully tonight I'll get a good night's sleep, and I'll be back to my speedy way tomorrow. Fast Track's right, though. Let's see if we can knock out. We got 20 minutes left. If you have a quick question, and I mean wallahi a quick question, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Ahmed says he's got a quick question.
Hey, how you doing, Jim? Thanks for having me.
Sure.
I will be quick. So I'm married to a woman from Sudan. She lives in Saudi Arabia, and she's on a visit visa, so she's not a resident of Saudi Arabia. So when we did the marriage certificate back on July of last year, we did it on the Sudanese embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And after we sealed it from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, stamped it, everything was good, translated, and sent it with the I-130 form. 3 days ago, I get a request for evidence saying that the marriage certificate is being rejected because according to the Sharia law, the marriage certificate has to be from the Saudi Arabian court, not the embassy of Sudan. But the same thing, the marriage is in Islamic way, so it's like literally the same thing. So does that happen before, or what I should do in this situation?
I'm pulling up my screen. Just give me a second.
Okay.
So, Ahmed, every country,
Mm-hmm.
The State Department has gone through for every country to figure out what's available from that country when it comes to a marriage license. Have you seen this visa reciprocity table before?
Yes, I did. I did see it, and I went through it. I saw that on an exception part that, like, for non-Saudi citizen, they could have their marriage certificate sealed or like a stamp. Authenticate. I'm sorry. Excuse my English. Authenticate from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and that's what I did.
So here's what it says. In the cases of third country nationals who get married outside of a Sharia court in Saudi Arabia, that marriage must be endorsed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is that what you got?
Yes, but my marriage is like through the Islamic way. It's not like other religion marriage. So that's the confusing part here. So maybe the officer thought that my wife is Saudi Arabian citizen, even though her birth certificate from there, but she's from Sudan, which I uploaded her passport, show that she's a Sudanese. She's not a Saudi citizen.
Right. So they might be confused about a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just walk through the exception with you, and you tell me yes or no to each part, right?
Okay.
Okay. So in the case of a third country national, so that's what we have. She's a third country national.
Yes.
And then who get married outside of a Sharia court in Saudi Arabia. That's a no, right?
No. Yeah, it's within the Sharia law.
Yep. That marriage must be endorsed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Did the ministry endorse your marriage?
Yes.
A third country national who performs his or her wedding at his or her country's embassy in Saudi Arabia must have their wedding certificate and or marriage contract endorsed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is that right?
It does endorse by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but the marriage certificate itself was issued from the Sudanese embassy in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will affix a small stamp with 2 cross sabers and a tree on it when they endorse the document. Did they do that?
Yes, they do that. And they do that on Arabic version. And when I translated, I had to make sure that translated form that they've been like attached with it.
And so just for this was from USCIS, right?
Yes.
So of course the only wiggle room that they really have is that you were married under Sharia law at your embassy. So your thing doesn't exactly fit, but I mean I think it's pretty darn close, and I think that you've followed the spirit of what they're saying, and frankly this is something that usually comes up not at USCIS but at the embassy.
Mm-hmm.
When you submitted the marriage license, did you just submit it to see if they really did you walk them? Because we have to assume that the dumbest person that ever walked on the face of the planet is the person reading what you submitted. Like you really have to assume, and so sometimes you have to walk them through exactly. So if you just sent them this marriage license with the little stickers and stuff and didn't literally copy that paragraph that I just did, go through each line and explain to them why you did what you did and why this follows what's on the visa reciprocity table. Did you do that? Did you do
that? No, I couldn't do that. I didn't do that on the form itself, but it's just like when I translated the marriage certificate and uploaded a copy of the original marriage certificate in Arabic. That's what I did.
No, I'm saying, especially when if we got an RFE like yours, like literally it's like 12 point font. You're yelling in all caps. This is the rule. This is what the State Department says.
This is what I follow.
This is just like I did with you. Each part, you got to hit them over and over. Like you have to tell them you're dumb at the top, you're dumb in the middle, you're dumb at the end.
Okay, I will definitely do that. I will send them like a respond letter showing that, hey, this is what I followed, and nobody say anything about like not having my marriage certificate like from somewhere else. I did exactly what you guys told me to do, and I don't know why they send me a request for evidence.
Right in their eye. Right
I
in
will
their
do
eye.
that. Thank you
All right,
so much, Jim.
see you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
For
Thank
sure. Later. Ahmed knows what's what. Ahmed knows what's what. He's doing everything right, and those fools are dragging ass. Hey, I wanted to comment on something. One of our longtime fans and friends of the show, Nurse Laura, said that she's really glad to be here. She has depression, and it's been pretty bad lately. Having the community here on the show has really helped. Well, Laura, I'm here to tell you I'll be here most of August, so that's good. I'm traveling a lot less. I'll also say that I have battled depression in the past, probably not clinical depression, but certainly had big periods of sadness. And luckily I have a good therapist, and I've had a good therapist for a long time. I'll also say that 2 weeks ago, between lunchtime on Thursday and lunchtime on Saturday, I had not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 people talk to me about how they're struggling. And they're all struggling with different things. They're asking me about my therapy. They're asking about what resources I have. Like I have coaches, and I spend a lot of time like trying to get my shit straight. And people realize that, right? Like I think it sort of becomes attractive to people that are struggling when they see people who are open about struggling. So thanks to you, Laura, for being honest and vulnerable to everyone on the comments. But I also think that there are a lot of people struggling. I think people thought, what the fuck? COVID's over. We're done. What else do I have to worry about? I mean, like we're past the hard things, but then with the way the country is split up and all the negative stuff you hear on the news and everything, I just think I'll be thinking about you, Laura, all month. I'll be doing as many shows as I can so the community can be alive and well. And I see that you heard me. And I want you to know that we support you. All right. Thank you, Laura. Let's go to Naveen. Hello, Naveen.
Hey Jim, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm talking from New Jersey. I just have a very quick, simple question. I'm on F1 visa right now. I have a job, direct employer. I've been working with them for almost a year now. And last weekend, the second round of H1B results were out, and I was lucky enough to get selected.
Nice.
So good. And right now, I have my filing period between August and end of October. So that's good as well. But then I really have to travel to India in the month of August, and I'll be back early September. So is it advisable for me to file after I come back, or is it advisable for me to like not go at all, because it's a really big family obligation and I have to be there?
You're on OPT?
I'm on OPT, yes.
OG OPT or STEM extension?
No, it's my first year of OPT.
Are you a STEM major?
Yes.
Have you applied for the STEM extension?
I still have time. I can only apply 90 days before, and that 90 days is in September, end of September.
Well, I mean, I think you can guess what I'm going to say, which is try not to go if you can avoid it. I think I would not postpone anything filing wise while you're gone or traveling or anything. I would get that out the door, because that's all going to be done primarily under the name of your employer. And like whether that catches up to Naveen's regular old immigration record. Here's a question, and this will probably make the decision as to whether or not I let you go, right? Whether I want you to go or not. Okay, and that is your F1 visa stamp in your passport current or is it expired?
It's current.
And what's the end date of your STEM?
It's end of this year, so December.
I think you're okay.
Okay.
I'd say full steam ahead. I mean, I don't want you to go. I'm going to vote don't go. But if it's a big family obligation and you feel like you have to,
yeah,
I think you've got enough safe things. You don't have to go to the damn embassy, which would have been the biggest problem. When you come back through customs, you're still going to have 6 months, or not 6 months, 4 months, on your OG OPT. You can tell them, I'm going to apply for OPT unless I don't have my H-1B by then. And oh, by the way, MFer, here's my second lottery acceptance letter, and my H-1B's going to be processed. So let me in. I think you'll be fine.
And there's no there's nothing about USCIS denying my H-1B status because I left the country, or is that going to be an issue?
No, I don't think so. I mean, because it's not like a green card where you have to get permission to leave. An H-1Bs are filed for people outside the United States all the time.
Mhm.
So you're arguing maybe I should wait to when? So when do you want to travel?
End of August. So I have my
that's-
tickets for the 19th, but I can postpone it until 28th of August. But I really need to be there in the last week of August and first week of September. I have to be in India.
So you're proposing to wait to file the H-1B stuff until after you get back?
So I can be back by, say, 4th of September, 5th of September. So my question is, can I wait until I come back and then start the filing process so that there's no complication?
And you have, if you don't get your H-1B on October 1st, it's not the end of the world because you have your STEM, I mean, you have your OPT
Yes.
in place till the end of the year.
And my deadline for filing for H-1B is 31st of October because I got my lottery picked 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Naveen. I'll tell you what. Send me an email.
Okay.
Because I want to talk to Andrew, one of the guys in our office, about it.
Okay.
I hate to wait to apply,
Mm-hmm.
but you raise an interesting point because you'd be traveling on an F1.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah, send me an email. Do you have my email?
No, I don't. But is there anywhere I can find it out?
Yeah, it's info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Yeah, I think I have that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and just say I was on the show with Jim at the
Mhm.
50-minute mark, and he had a question he wanted to talk to Andrew about my H-1B.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man. See you, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Say to Emma. Hi, Emma. You're on mute. Still on mute. Oh, I can't hear. We can't hear Emma. Sorry. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Very good.
I think I have a network problem. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
So I've been I'm doing very okay. I've been waiting for since last week just to join the show to say a very big thank you to you and your team. Yeah, I had my green card through your lawsuit, and I'm very, very grateful. And I'm here to say thank you to someone who helped me, Luis. Say a very big thank you to him. And I would like to show you something. Like, I would like to call you the boss.
Thank you so much. Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah. So I have a question. So in this case, when can I start my citizenship process?
So did you get your green card through marriage or something else?
Through marriage.
So it'll be you can apply 2 years and 9 months from the start date on your green card.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I would like to do the process for my mom. So would you advise me to do the citizenship before I start the process for her?
You can't do it until you're a citizen.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. And my greetings and my appreciation goes to Luis. Say a very big thank you to him for helping me out.
Thank you, Emma.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Okay, bye-bye. All right. We always like it when people come to say thank you and are happy, and we're always happy when lawsuits help people get their green cards. All right. Let's go over to Salman. Salman?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine. I'm a little bit stressed, worried, because I'm from France, but my nationality is Bangladesh, but I lived in France for 7 years. And my wife is a US citizen, and she applied for me. So everything was okay. And 2 months before, I had an interview for spouse in Paris Consulate, Paris Embassy. Everything was good. When I had interview, just medical report was not received by embassy. So the consular officer didn't give me any 2 to 1. Everything was perfect, good. Just he said, you will have your passport within 2 weeks. Just we have to wait for your medical reports. But 1 week after, SIAC status, I was checked, and it was refused already. And I sent an inquiry. They said they have received my medical report. So everything was like good. Then almost 5 weeks, status always shows ready, only always date updated, but status never change. And 2 days before, like almost 1.5 months after, they sent me an email, like I have to fill a DS 5535 form, and also they gave me a follow-up interview within weeks. That means 2 days after, Wednesday. So I have follow-up interview. So one thing I have noticed already, because when I have interview, I took my new passport, which I didn't mention to CO, and already I have travel history with my old passport. So I didn't mention these things to CO. So my second interview, I don't know what gonna ask or what gonna happen or what about this second interview.
What did
Should
they
I have any?
ask? What did they ask, and what didn't you tell them?
I didn't tell them about my new passport because my old passport was almost expiring below than 5 months. So I took my new passport, which I did with medical, which I entered with this embassy. And the first security check, they said, you don't need old passport, you only have your new passport. But I forgot to mention to CO about this passport issue, that I have new passport, not my, because DS-260 have my old passport.
Have you listed all of your trips? Like, have you've disclosed all of your trips?
I have already listed, yes. And also my wife was with me, the trips. I have listed to DS-260, just this old passport. I put my new passport. I didn't mention that.
So the embassy, so the State Department knows your old passport number because you used it on the DS-260.
Exactly.
And they know your new passport because you gave it to them at your interview.
Yes, exactly.
So there's
also I updated it to SIAC also. SIAC I also uploaded.
Did the officer ask you anything about a new passport?
Nothing they asked. Just they sent me. They didn't ask any documents after this 5 weeks of interview. Just they sent me an email 3 days before, like last Wednesday. They said fill up this DS 5535 and sent us to the email, and also a follow-up interview August 2. That means 1 week, like Wednesday to Wednesday, like 2 days after I have a follow-up interview.
I don't think it's because you forgot to mention the new passport. I think it's something else.
It could be like
I don't know. How did you get status in France?
I came here like an underage, and I got like with normally when I came here I was 17. Then I go to like police station, and police gave me like like social organization, and they take care of us until 18.
And then what?
And then I am staying here like working visa with.
Okay, so what's your question for me?
So this second interview, like I'm a little bit confused about this second interview, because when I had interview, everything was super good. Just he said, I need your medical reports, and everything is fine. And 5 weeks after, they send me one email for this DS-5535, and I think it takes long time to clear.
I'm not worried about that so much. I mean, they give that to everybody. So I don't know. It's something else, Salman. I don't know what it is.
And also I was noticed, like when I go to interview, they didn't take oath, like I declare by anything. He didn't ask me the CO, nothing. I don't know why. He was in a hurry, I think.
Yeah, probably. And sometimes when they are in a hurry, that often leads to a second interview.
He was in a hurry, yes, and also he took my passport. He took my already all the documents, original like marriage certificate. He already all kept. So maybe
All right.
he's
Well,
gonna ask about all this.
let us know how it goes. Okay.
Yeah, I will try. No, I think this is my impression. Like maybe he took all the certificates, and he was not question me. Even he didn't ask for any documents. My wife supporting things, nothing. He just asked me about what she do, where she lives. That's it. And he was in hurry. He didn't even. Normally, when I was sitting there, everybody gave oath, like. But I was not doing that, and he didn't ask me about that also. Even he didn't give me 221G because of medical missing. He didn't give me nothing. He just gave me one, like the right of USA. Like
Right, but you don't have legal status in France, right?
I have legal status. I am living here for 7 years in legal way. I have no
Okay.
problem here.
All right, I gotta go, Salman. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, buddy. All right, everybody, that'll do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. 4 p.m. Central. If you want to know the link to the waiting room, text the word "show" to 314-470-3300. Thanks, everybody, for joining us and for the comments and for the support for Laura. We appreciate that. We will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. Thanks, everybody.